Welcome to the Plumbing and HVAC Marketing Ninjas podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Arthur, and today we've got an awesome special guest, the one and only Jason Priest with the Fatherhood. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good, man. Appreciate the intro. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, no problem. So for people that are listening or watching this on YouTube, you may not know Jason Priest, and if you don't, I'm sorry. You're going to learn a lot about him today and his passion and his vision, and hopefully it inspires you like it has inspired me so far. Jason, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and how the Fatherhood, formerly Dad Bod Health, came to be.
Yeah, I'll share a little bit about my backstory first, and then we can kind of talk about the company change and the rebrand and everything that we've been going through lately. So essentially, I have a pretty checkered past. I've got a really my childhood was not cupcakes and unicorns, and like most people, you know, we've all got some demons and some dark shit that we've dealt with in our past. And so I grew up in a single parent household. My mom was an alcoholic, smoked in the house, and I essentially watched my mom slowly kill herself. She died at 49, and I was 25 years old when that happened. But I was a young teen and was into the rave scene, was heavily involved in drugs, and my life was headed down a dark path. And I knew that, you know, my intelligence level was above that. And, you know, and I'll go ahead and share, dude, like my breaking point. I was heavily involved in drugs, like I said, and I had a couple of guys that I was hanging out with that they were into methamphetamines, right? And so that was my thing for a little while. And I made a promise to myself when I got into the drug scene, really when I started smoking pot in 7th grade, dude. Like that's when I was like, you know what? I'll do this, but I'm never going to put any needle in my arm. Like that was the breaking point for me. Yeah. And I'll loop this back together, because here's the things, like when you create these barriers for yourself and boundaries, it is so powerful. And I'll relate that to health in a second, because that's what's got me to be as healthy and fit as I am right now at almost 42 years old. And so I go over to their house, and or one of the dudes calls me and says, "Hey, come over. We want to try something new." I walk in. They've got 3 brand new syringes on the bed, and I'm like, "Nope." I walk in. They're like, "Hey, we want to try this." I'm like, "You've seen the last of me. I'm out of here." Called it quits from that day moving forward. I was like, I'm above this. I'm better than this. And I started to get my life together, and I was taking some classes at a community college. Met a couple of dudes that we're talking about nursing school, and I didn't have a path, but I knew that I needed to get the hell out of college, because I wasn't a 4-year guy at all. I needed an outlet, and so fast forward a little bit, I started nursing school. Neither of those 2 dudes did, and I went on the fast track, 2 years in nursing school. Started working in the ICU at 23 years old, which you know. Would I have repeated that now? Hell no. But I saw some really, really sad stuff in the ICU, as you can well imagine. And I was recovering post-op heart surgery patients, saw guys in their mid-30s. We had a 37-year-old who had a double bypass. And, you know, like this shit is real. And so at 23 years old, it started to really take a toll on me. I was young, dumb, and immature at that point in my life, but that seeing that stuff still scarred me, right? And so dealt with that for a while, met my wife in the hospital. We quickly got married after about a year of dating, and my wife came to my wedding, and 2 years later she died. 2 months later she died after my wedding. So we got married in July. She died on September 11th of 2005, 4 years after our country got attacked. So that day is a pretty emotional day for me. So my mom died, and I went through a really dark depression, started drinking, started eating a bunch of fast food. I was already drinking, and I still occasionally drink. But then I was boozing heavily, working night shift, getting off, pounding beers, going through drive-throughs, eating fast food, and going to the golf course. That was my outlet, booze and golf. And so did this for several years, man. And we moved away to Abilene, Texas. I was living in Denton at the time when I met my wife, moved out to Abilene. And we were there for 4 years. And during our 4-year stint there, I didn't have any friends. I was still boozing, very depressed. My wife was extremely busy with pharmacy school, and I didn't really have an outlet. So it was still booze and golf. And my wife noticed that, you know, I was putting on some extra weight, had the full gut, the man boobs. And she's like, "Hey, you know, with my pharmacy school, we have access to this really nice gym." I'm like, "Okay, well, it sounds cool, but, you know, it's not for me." And after 3.5 years of living there, of our 4, or probably like a little over 3 years, I started to feel like shit all the time. Energy levels in the dumps, no confidence, no self-esteem, no sex drive. Looked at myself. I was embarrassed to see the man boobs and the beer gut in the mirror. And finally decided, you know what? I'm going to go check out that gym that she's been talking to me about for 3 years now. Went to the gym and really got my life together, man, in terms of health. So took about 6-7 months for me to drop the 60 pounds that I was overweight. But it didn't start that way, man. I tried the jogging in the beginning. I tried I'm gonna go for a 1 mile jog and just see what it's like. I did that a few times a week. And dude, I remember sitting on the side of the curb for 20-30 minutes at a time with my Walkman headphones in at the time, and trying to talk myself into this. And it just wasn't for me. And like most guys that are overweight, running is not going to get you anywhere real quick. And so with the constant pounding on my knees, my back, I was just like, this isn't for me. I need to find something else. And so went to the gym, got involved with a spin class, quickly got involved in weights, and became passionate about health and wellness. Put it all together, watched my mom kill herself because of booze, an unhealthy lifestyle with the cigarettes, and did not like that at all, obviously. And then took my experience from the ICU, and I'm like, you know what? I need to do something better with my life, and I can't continue down this path. And so I got it together, became passionate about health and wellness, started working for a wellness company when we moved back to Dallas, quickly became unfulfilled and was like, you know what, I got to start my own company. I can't do this. I can't work for the man. I'm not meant to do this. And I don't want to turn 60 years old and look back on life with nothing but regret. And so all that to say, here we are. Here I am talking to you. And so talk about the company a little bit. We basically started off as Dad Bod Health, as you mentioned. That was my thing, the burgers and beer. And I'm still very much a burger and beer guy. Like that's very much a part of my lifestyle. There's not a weekend that goes by that I don't have a burger and a nice IPA. And so it is a very big part of my lifestyle. And so that was it. I was going to teach guys to get healthy and fit and still be able to do all that. Fast forward a little bit later, I met my business partner through a mutual connection, and here we are a year plus later, and the Fatherhood was born. We got away from the health and fitness aspect so much. That's still at our core. What we realized is you're not going to fix anything until you fix the man inside. And so that's a little bit about it. We can open up and talk more about that if you'd like. I do want to loop back around and just add this to the backstory. So the barrier piece, what I talked about with, setting that precedent early on with the drug scene, right? I would never encourage anybody to go down that path. Raves were my lifestyle, dude. And that's not like, I don't even know if those things exist anymore, but it's not a real good path to go down. The reason I talk about the barriers though, is I set that precedent early in my drug career, we'll call it. And now, I very much have that structure in my lifestyle. These are non-negotiable priorities that I've set in my life. The way that I operate now is what I expect of myself every single day. It's who I am. It's how I operate, and they're not negotiable. My sleep, my stress management, my nutrition, my fitness, my mindset stuff. These are all habits that have been instilled that I've been doing for 15 plus years now that will never go away. They say never say never. I can tell you right now, it would take a catastrophic event for me to ever go back to the old lifestyle that I was living. And it's all because of the structure, the non-negotiable priorities I've set in my life. So that's a summary about me, man. And so let's roll.
Awesome. I appreciate you opening up, man.
For sure. Man.
So kind of to touch on a little bit about what you mentioned with health. So I don't know, a lot of things come to mind when I think of healthy, but obviously I'm not in good shape right now. So what does healthy mean to you? What does that look like to you?
So many people think health is an external look, right? So you've heard of the skinny fat people, and those aren't healthy either. And so health is a combination of different aspects. This is it's a multifaceted approach. You have physical health, you have mental health, you have emotional health, you have spiritual health. If those things are not aligned with the man that you want to become, because I'll just tell you, dude, I'm not the most elite version of myself right now. I'm in full growth mode. And that's exactly what we teach our guys. We're very much with growth, leadership, personal development, really working on the man. And we get caught in this world of immediate gratification, right? So you want to try the fad diet, you want to try keto, Whole30, all this stuff. We're always looking for the external fix, the Band-Aid. those things just don't work until you fix the man inside. And so what we saw, and a big part of shifting over to the fatherhood, is health and fitness is just the foundation, man. We saw our guys coming in. Obviously, what we do is very successful. These guys come in and crush it. We got guys that are doing averaging 75 pounds and down in 6 months. I mean, it's pretty impressive. We have a guy that just dropped 200 pounds, and is mind blowing. 200 pounds in under a year, 11 months with us. Wow. Just by implementing the structure of our system. And so health is a multifaceted approach. If your mental health is off and you're physically healthy, you're not healthy. If your emotional and spiritual health are off, but your mental health and your physical health are okay, you're still not healthy. You're not whole as a man. And so that's really why we made the shift over to the fatherhood, is because we see our guys come in and get healthy and start to feel really, really good again, and start to wonder what's next, right? And so, with our fatherhood, we have our 4 F's, which is essentially fitness. And when I say fitness, this is mental fitness, just the health aspect, mental fitness, emotional fitness. We want you fit everywhere, and that's just the foundation. We have fitness, we have family, we have finance, and we have freedom. We want to help our guys become free from fear and doubt around any of those 3 categories. If you're free from fear and doubt around your health, your family and relationships, that's including our brotherhood, not just your immediate family, as well as your finances, you've got a pretty complete package for somebody to dominate life. And that's what we're seeing, man. And so health to me is a multifaceted approach. You can't look at somebody and, you can go on Instagram right now and find one of these Instagram models, look at their airbrushed abs or whatever the hell you want to look at. And I can guarantee you there's at least 60 to 70% of current, especially in this current landscape, that are not healthy. They might have a healthy physique, but mentally they're nowhere close to being healthy. And so we want to help our men as a whole, not just the physical aspect.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I know, like for me, it was always about a number on a scale, and that doesn't mean jack squat on, what's going inside. Which hopefully we'll touch on a little bit later. Sure. So to piggyback off of that, and I'm sure you may have even touched on this. So what's a commonly held belief about health that you passionately disagree with?
That's a great question. And, I think if we want to relate it to the quick fix, right? So many people think that it's a quick fix. And the reality is we live in an immediate gratification society, right? You can call, you can get on Amazon right now and probably have most things delivered the day of or the day after. You can ask Siri or Alexa, where the nearest whatever is, or place an order. You can go to every corner and find a fast food restaurant. It's all about immediate gratification. The reality is it just doesn't work like that with health. And that's why a lot of these fake gurus out there that are promoting these 6 weeks to 6-pack abs, the diet pills, the replacement shakes, the keto and the Whole30 and these things, they're not sustainable. And so many people grasp onto those things. They'll drop a bunch of weight only to gain it all back and then some. You don't understand how many horror stories we've heard of keto where a guy will lose 50 pounds only to gain 60 or 70 back. That's the reality, is we all want a quick fix, and that's not how it works with health. But here's the thing, again, going back to what I originally said, you've got to fix the guy inside before any of those external band-aids will work. Because here's the thing, there are people out there that follow keto every day of their life and are very healthy and fit, and that's what they do. But they fix this first. They're not looking for the quick fix to get rid of the weight and then move on with their lives. That's not it. They've subscribed to the keto lifestyle, and that's how they live. And I know some people like that. There's some people out there that follow carnivore, right? They don't eat anything but meat, that appear very healthy, and that's their lifestyle. The people out there that are looking for the quick fix to get rid of the weight and move forward quickly and just be done with it, it's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. And that's just it, is you got to fix what's that fragile space between your 6 inch or the 6 inches of fragile space between your ears. You fix that first, the rest will take care of itself. You mentioned you mentioned the weight on the scale. We got a lot of guys that come in, and we might not see a big fluctuation in the beginning. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them will see the fluctuation happen a little bit later, because one thing that we do not sway away from in terms of how we help our guys is resistance training. You're not going to come into our program and into the fatherhood experience and just do cardio. It's not how we operate. And if that's you, then we're not your guys, because the reality is, if you want to change your physique and you want to have lifelong lasting changes, resistance training, there's nothing more healthy for you than that, man. Like, the benefits of resistance training are countless. And I can sit here and name 10, 15, 20 benefits, and the list will continue to go on. But the reality is it has to be a part of your lifestyle, right? Like, these guys come in, we do a personal best challenge for a lot of these guys. They'll come in, if they're new to weights, like really want to crank out those personal bests every day, because our app shows, hey, you crushed these, you had 8 or 9 personal bests for the day. We have our veterans who will reach out and be like, hey man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep the personal best up, because I'm to a point now where, like, they're becoming harder and harder to get. Like, dude, you got to realize it's time to take a step back. Those are fun in the beginning, get you motivated, get you some momentum. They're fun in the beginning, but the way that you're living right now is the way that you're going to live for the rest of your life. I've been in the gym 4 days a week for 15 plus years now, because it's the way that I live my life. And when you embrace that as a long-term journey, the sky becomes the limit for you, because eventually you're going to reach your weight loss goal if you establish the long-term discipline and the habits now that you need to become the man that you are dreaming of becoming. That's where the magic happens. It's not about, hey, let's race up and weight, because you're going to hit a point where you can't get personal bests anymore, and that's okay. I mean, I can't go into the gym and crush personal bests every week right now. I'm in a maintenance mode, and so it's not who I am right now. And so once I get that mindset shift and they just embrace it as a journey, dude, that's it's such a powerful thing for you mentally, because then it's like, okay, all I got to do is keep showing up, do these 4 or 5 things every single day of my life. And doesn't mean you got to be in the gym every day. I'm a 4-day-a-week guy. Do these 4 or 5 things in my life every day that are non-negotiable priorities. And that's where the magic happens. And so I've one of my talk tracks lately has been around this. It's like, if your life revolves around your health, the sky will become the limit for you. That means health is priority number 1. That means everybody in your life will get the best version of you. Okay. Your kids, your spouse, your friends, your family, anybody in your life wants the most elite version of you, right? You're a giver, you're a provider, you're a protector as a father. And if you want to be the best, health has to be your number 1 priority. It's not a selfish thing. It's the least selfish thing that you can do, because that is your most important asset as a man. And so if you want them to get the best version of you, health has to be number 1. So if your life revolves around your health, sky will be the limit for you. If your health revolves around your life, that means it's secondary. It's going to take a back seat at times. It's going to be a scramble to get stuff done because you don't have enough time to get your workout in, or you don't have enough time to eat that healthy meal. It's a recipe for disaster. And when you can flip the switch on that and you change your priorities to align with that, dude, it's a powerful but yet simple practice.
You mentioned something that's huge, and I think is part of a lot of the issues that people face whenever they're trying to get in shape or get in a better health situation, is people are looking for when they're going to be finished.
Yep.
I guess
there's no finish line to fitness, dude.
That's
just the foundation, man.
Switch that needs to get flipped the other direction. Like, if you realize there isn't technically a finish line to your health until you're gone. You're
done. Yeah. We all have an expiration date, man, and that's it. It's like you can either invest in yourself right now. When I say invest, this doesn't mean spend big money. This means not going out on a Friday night with your buddies that want to go booze it up instead of you eating healthy and having 1 or 2 beers, but getting that workout in that you wanted to do instead of going out to eat with them. That means, getting to the gym, invest in a gym membership, or invest in some equipment to have at home. That means taking a little bit of time to plan out the week. I don't meal prep in my life at all. Meal prep is it's nonsense. It's cumbersome, and I don't do it. But I always am a step ahead of the game when it comes to nutrition. And so those are the investments that you have to make in yourself now, or you're going to invest in it later, and you're going to be forced to do so with medications, treatments, hospital bills. That shit's going to rack up if you don't make yourself a priority right now. And so you have one route to take or the other. I've lived the fat life and I've lived the fit life. I'll tell you right now, my life is not any easier being fit than it was being fat. It's just as I have a lot less problems now in terms of my energy level, my confidence, my self-esteem, my libido, all the things that my leading by example for my children. all the things that align with the man that I know I'm capable of being. And so my life is still hard. Life is not going to ever be easy. And so when you flip the script on that and you think, okay, you know what? This is a lifelong journey. Fitness is just the foundation of me becoming the most elite version of myself. We're all working toward becoming the best version of ourselves. None of our parents had us in the delivery room and said, you know what? He's going to be a loser. You know, all of our parents gave birth to us and said, you know what? This guy's going to go on to do something great. And if you ever want to live up to that expectation, because I know that my children are capable of greatness, and I'm going to be damned if I allow them to pursue anything but that. And that's comes from leading by example, man. And so, yeah, fitness is the foundation. And when you embrace that one fact, dude, it's a lifelong journey. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're always about progress over perfection. It's never going to be perfect. The stars are never going to fully align for you. You just have to take massive action and start putting one foot in front of the other. There is no neutral in life. And that's where a lot of people get off. They're like, well, I'm just going to coast for a little while because I'm not committed right now. Yeah. You coasting, it means you're moving backward in life. You're losing time. Time waits for nobody. And so if you're going backward in life, you're losing time that you could be gaining momentum and becoming a closer version to that most elite guy that you want to become. And so it's a simple concept, but man, it's required to be your best self.
I like that, progress over perfection. So speaking of challenges, so when you first started the Fatherhood, what's one thing that was more challenging than you originally thought it would be?
Taking a step back for 3 months and saying, you know what, we're not going to sell shit because we're in a full rebrand here. It's been quite the challenge. Zach and I, my business partner, had to go in and refilm all of our curriculum, our old curriculum and Unleash Your Legacy, which was much embedded in Dad Bod Health. There was over 100 videos in there. And the reality is you know, our educational content is fire. I'm a pretty humble dude, but I know what we have in there is changing lives. Yeah. So we had to go refilm everything on that. We have sales to get us through, but we were really selling to our community because of a retreat. And so our launch all came after our first retreat. So at the retreat, we revealed the Fatherhood. The flag in the back was very much a part of that. And then what we did was this is a very transformational experience, dude. There were 18 guys at this retreat. Out of the 18, there was one guy who went home that didn't cry, and that one guy wasn't me. I'm the crying leader of us, and so I can cry on demand. But I'll tell you, and this is one thing that really gave me. This is the most pulled that I've ever felt from my higher power. Won't go down the religion route, but I'm very much a God guy, and I haven't always been. I was an atheist not that long ago, dude, and so God is very much heavily involved in my life. It's the most pulled that I've ever felt in my entire life. I know exactly why I'm here. And so I'll tell you a funny story about the retreat. So we're there, day 2. We're doing one of our real deep, like clearing exercises, right? So it's essentially, the exercise was this, right? So your creator, whether you believe we came from dust fairies or you're a God guy, wherever that spectrum falls for you, we all know we didn't come from dust. I think that's okay to admit, right? And so what we essentially presented was this. All right, your creator created you to be the best version of you, right? Where you're at in your life right now, when you meet your creator in heaven, or whatever those pearly gates look like for you after life, or if you don't believe in an afterlife, however that scenario plays out in your mind, right? For us, it's like when your creator, when you meet that man at heaven's gates that you were put on this planet to be, you meet the most elite version of yourself. Where are the gaps? Where are you falling short right now? What are the roadblocks that are preventing you from getting there, right? And so some guys started really opening up some deep shit, like stuff that they have never told anybody in their lives. No. And so to give men a safe space like this, these are strangers from all over the country who met in a tiny little Facebook group that came together and formed lifelong relationships. It was the most powerful event that I've ever been to. And it was my own event, which I've been to some awesome events. This was a game changer for these guys. And so we did the exercise on day 2. And on day 3, after that exercise on day 2, one of the guys that was not in my group, so we split into 2 groups, Zach and myself. My group did that exercise first, and we had a different exercise very similar to that plan for the next day. Well, the sun started coming out and beating down, dude, and it was like to the point where we're all just sweating. We had to get in some shade. We had to call it a wrap for a little while, get some food, some refreshments. And so one of the guys from Zach's group came up and he's like, hey man, like Zach's exercise was great. I got a lot of value, but I've got some deep shit that I need to get off my mind. And I know that what you guys just did, I think I really need that. And I'm like, oh shit, like that's not okay. Right. Like that guy's got to get the same experience. And so Zach and we went into our RV, and I was like, hey dude, we got to change the curriculum, dude. We got to change this up. He's like, why? What's up? And I was like, I told him what happened. And I said, hey man, it's time for me to cry on demand again. You realize that like, I'm going to have to go do exactly what I just did and in front of a totally different group of people and do the same shit. He's like, all right, well, I guess let's roll. And so we did it again the next day, dude. And these guys, like I said, they left with a totally different outlook on life. And I will tell you that out of the 18 that attended, not a single one of those guys has missed one of our coaching calls. Right now we do 2 classes a week, and not a single one of those guys has missed any of our classes because of the buy-in is so strong after an event like that. So it's a pretty cool experience to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did y'all kind of come up with the curriculum, the food, the workouts? Like, did that just kind of happen over time, or?
Yeah, so Zach and we met through a mutual friend, like I said. This guy, the guy that we met through, actually helped me when I left the corporate world, helped me with my self-directed IRA, right? So my 401k moved over to a self-directed IRA. And so he helped me with that. And he lives in Vegas. And Zach, not long ago, moved to Vegas. And these guys knew each other from another mastermind. And so they connected, and I get a call from the IRA guy, and he's like, hey, dude, I got this guy that I think you'll be aligned with. And so essentially Zach and I started chatting. We started following each other on social. And we're very much aligned. My nutrition structure is a bit different from him because of our goals right now. So I do follow a modified version of intermittent fasting that our guys love, dude. If you're a coffee drinker, it is so highly effective that, dude, like it is. Yeah, look, man, I mean, it's magical. If you just follow what I teach on the modified intermittent fasting piece, it's so magical. This is what gives you the ability to have the burgers, the beer, all that stuff without gaining weight. It's truly, I mean, I'm not going to say this is a magic pill by any means, but if you follow the system and you learn this structure and you start to listen to your body and become in tune and you just repeat this every day, it is impossible not to lose weight and get to where you want to be. They literally, it's like my coin thing, right? Well, Zach does not follow that. Zach is very much big fan on nutrition. He's very educated and highly knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition, but his goals are different, right? He's in a little bit of a bodybuilding phase. He's where I was at when I was his age. Zach's 32, and when I was 32, that was before kids. I was very much into the bodybuilding phase. I'm about 170 these days. And there was a time in my life where I was up to 215 with visible abs. And so, that's a huge difference from where I'm at now. Zach's, I think he's 190, in the 195-ish range, and he's trying to bulk right now. And so he does not follow what I follow. And so, so that was a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to teach these guys? It's for fat loss. And obviously what I've been teaching already works really freaking well. And so he's like, dude, I'm cool with that because I've followed something similar to that before. Let's just teach these guys how to fuel their body for performance. And that's what we do. We teach them really the more knowledge you have. Obviously, we don't lack for information in this society. We lack for application. But if we come in and we tell you, hey, eat these types of foods around this time of day, eat these types of foods around this time of day, and you start to build a system into your life, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. And you just know when we call it a system, it very much is that. Our 4 core pillars of health are sleep, stress management, nutrition, and fitness. You get those aligned with the guy that you want to become in terms of health. It's very, very powerful. Most guys, they're looking for the sexy stuff, which is the workouts and the fad diet. Sleep and stress management are magical when it comes to fat loss, and most guys don't take it seriously enough. Yeah. And so, it was there was definitely some negotiating along the way when it came to the curriculum, because our original curriculum, Zach was like, hey man, I don't know if I'm feeling a couple of these videos. Like, dude, like, we're going to rebrand the whole thing. You and I will go through and do every single video together so that we're fully aligned. And now, like, dude, like our guys, there's so much synergy between Zach and I. It's our guys will be like, dude, you guys are like lifelong friends, right? I'm like, dude, I've known him for a year, right? And so it's cool. It's been cool how the journey has played out.
So this podcast is mostly for plumbing and HVAC business owners, or other people in the plumbing and HVAC space. So I know you hit on it a little bit earlier, but how badly or how much does your health affect your business?
Dude, that's why our third pillar is finance. The reality is this: no matter if you're no matter if you work for somebody else, if you're an employee, or you're top of the food chain in a corporate industry, or you're a business owner, it doesn't matter what that looks like for you. Nobody can argue that your daily performance when it comes to health is going to have an impact on your finances. If you are a business owner and you're trying to scale your business, your employees deserve your best. You deserve to feel your best every day. And if you're not making your health, again, if your health is not your top priority and business is coming before health, you're going to pay for it at some point. I feel very blessed and grateful that health was already kind of my thing going into business, right? And so it was already my top priority. So for me, there's no negotiating. Like, have there been days along my path of business that I skipped a gym day because I was trying to get some additional business shit done? 100%. But what I did was I reevaluated. I was a 5-day-a-week guy. I reevaluated my life, and I said, you know what? I'm going to drop off one day. I'm going to quit working out on Fridays. I'm going to go Monday through Thursday. Friday is going to be my day where I'm going to get more business shit done. Friday is my day where I record podcasts or get interviewed on podcasts. Friday is my day where I do more of our coaching calls, like if we have one-on-ones. Friday is my day to get business shit done. And so that's what I did, is like, I'm not going to work out anymore. I'm not going to put it in my mind anymore. I'm going to go down to 4 days a week, crush it, and have that additional day for that flexibility. And so when it comes to your finances, nobody can argue that. There are a lot of multimillionaires out there right now who would gladly trade their entire fortune to have their health back. Eventually, if you continue to put business first, money first, money is just a tool to buy more freedom. And if you don't have your health, you're never going to be free. That's just it. Like, we don't take anything with us when we go. You know what I mean? Like, you're either leaving it for family or it's all going to be spent up. And it'll get spent up real quick if your ass is in a nursing home spending $5,000 a month. That goes quick, and so that's just it. Is like, most people, they put the health later, right? Like, eventually, once I get, and I'm just throwing out arbitrary numbers. Once I have $100,000 in the bank, I'll start working on my health. Or once my company's doing, $30K a month, I'll start working on my health. Well, you know what? Like, it never happens, because you're always just chasing that little bit of extra. Again, when your life revolves around your health, you have the possibilities are infinity for you. When your health revolves around your life, dude, it's not going to be pretty for very long.
Yeah. So kind of to segue into a different path. So what's something that everybody should start doing with their health, and what's something that everybody should stop doing in regards to health?
Start doing. This is the quote, and I'm going to bring this up because we had our coaching class last night, and one of the guys mentioned something. We were talking about heart disease or something, and one of the guys mentioned something that his doctor said, and his doctor said, and this is the famous doctor quote, like, doctors don't have time for us anymore. The healthcare industry is a complete disaster. It's strictly for treatments and medications. We are not a wellness and prevention society, because people who are healthy and well and are into preventative health, they don't make money for big pharma. They don't line the pockets of the elites. And that's just the cold, hard facts. If that was the case, we would have been hearing health from day one with the current pandemic, right? No. We have not heard a damn thing about move more and eat less. That's what your doctor's going to tell you. And that's my answer. Move more and eat less. That's it. It doesn't take drastic changes to get to where you want to be, but you have to start stacking up some wins. You have to start building momentum. most guys don't realize this, but if you're not doing much in terms of exercise right now, your body is going to reward you extremely heavily in the beginning. You start walking 3 days a week for 15 or 20 minutes, dude, that's 45 minutes to an hour of exercise that you're not currently getting. If you build that into your schedule right now, you make appointments for everything else. Why don't you make an appointment for yourself, right? Yeah. And so if you just start moving more, that right there, your body is going to start starving for that, because it is going to say, oh shit, this feels good. Give me some more of this. Give me some more of this. And then that's where you start to build momentum. There's a classic trend with every guy that we see that comes in, right? You're going to start to feel better first. Then you're going to start to look better. You're going to start to notice some changes with your clothes. Maybe your pants fit a little bit looser. Your shirts get a little bit looser. You might see a little bit of visible changes in the mirror. That's usually, you're going to feel better after a week or two. After about a month, you're going to start to see some changes with your clothes, the visible changes in the mirror. And then usually 2 months in, other people start to take note, right? Hey, like, you're looking a little trimmer these days, or hey, you seem like you're in a really great mood. What's going on? Your energy level's up. You're talking more these days. Your mood is better. That trend happens with every guy. And there's this big misconception out there that I'm going to have to be more miserable before I start feeling good again. It couldn't be further from the truth. And so what you got to do, man, is you got to move more and you got to eat less. So many people think that, oh, I'm going to have to give up all my favorite foods. Dude, even if you eat like shit right now, if you're eating fast food every day, well, cut back a little bit. That's it. Just make that step number one. You don't have to go to chicken, brown rice, and broccoli, which, by the way, is a big myth because I don't ever eat that shit. We had chicken last night for the first time in like months, literally. So chicken, that meal is so, it's like cardboard, right? You don't have to eat cardboard. Healthy eating can be made fun. That's one of the big emphasis that we have in our community. We also celebrate our cheat meals. You should see some of the burgers and stuff that these tacos and stuff that these guys are posting, because we work hard and we play hard. And that's what it's about, is you gotta have a little bit of balance in your life, but you also have to realize you're going to have to sacrifice some things, but that's what life's all about, right? Nothing in life worth doing is easy. But again, I've lived the fat life and the fit life. They're both hard lives, man. And so what somebody should start doing is move more and eat less, or that could answer both questions, right? Yeah, stop eating so much. But I would say in terms of stop expecting immediate results, start embracing it as a journey, and stop listening to everybody else. Stop listening to the bitch voice that's in your head when you want to go work out that says, hey man, let's just not do this today. Man up and just get the shit done, dude. Sometimes you just have to grit your teeth and go get it done. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Nathan, there is not a week that goes by that at least 2 of my days in the gym, I dread getting there. I just have to get through the doors. Yeah. But on the way there, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this today, man. I'll try to talk myself out of it before I go. We all negotiate with ourselves. We all make excuses. You got to stop listening to those voices in your head, because one's going to win every time. And if you start consistently winning, if we want to call it the devil and the angel, if the angel starts to consistently win, dude, you're going to start to feel better way quicker than you believe. But so many of us negotiate with ourselves. We all negotiate with ourselves. Let me correct myself. But most of us cave. And that you take a look around around our country right now, we're closing in on a 50% obesity rate. It's sad, dude. And it's not going away because, again, our government is not here to save us. They want us addicted to medications. They want us going into the hospital. They want us lining the pockets of the elite. That's what happens. That's the control they have on our society right now. And so it's time for people to start taking full responsibility for their own health, hold themselves accountable, and start making the moves they need to not have to be dependent on medications, doctors, and the government. That's just the reality of it.
I kind of already answered the other question I wanted to ask you, but tell me if you would change the response at all or not. Sure. So I'm an emotional eater.
Sure.
And always have been.
I get it.
So how do you break that habit? It sounds like you just said you just got to man up and do it. So,
well, yeah. That's easier said than done, dude, right? Like, here's the thing. And Zach, my business partner, talks about this a lot, discipline points, right? So let me give you this quick little rundown, and this will help people understand. So somebody like you, where like maybe you're not anywhere close to where you want to be in terms of health, or anybody out there listening, right? So you could do better. There's a gap between where you're at right now and the man that you're capable of becoming. For somebody like you, and for the audience out there, if you're a guy right now that doesn't work out at all, doesn't eat healthy at all, right? Somebody like you, You're like, you know what, Monday I'm going to start going to the gym, or Monday I'm going to start walking or something like that. I'm going to do 3 days a week or whatever. So Monday rolls around, you're like, it's time. Like, I got to do this, right? So Monday rolls around and it's workout number one, and you start to negotiate. That process starts to happen. Well, should I put it off till next week? This doesn't really seem like a good week. It's nonsense. It's either results or excuses. There is no neutral in life. You're either getting results or you're making up excuses. And that's it. Like, I make excuses too, dude. Like, I'm not a robot. But here's the thing. For somebody like you or the audience that doesn't work out right now, you might need, like, say we all have 10 discipline points for the day. We're allotted 10 discipline points. For somebody like you on a Monday, you might need 8 or 9 of those discipline points to talk yourself into that workout, right? The rest of the day, you might not have many discipline points left. So you might cave on a meal. You might eat some candy. You might do some shit that sabotages a little bit because you used all those discipline points for the workout, right? Or somebody like me, when I'm trying to talk myself out of a workout, well, it's only going to take me 1 or 2 discipline points because I've been doing it for so long. And I know that all I got to do is get through those doors, and I know why I'm there and what I'm there to do. I'm not there to people watch. And so I'm there to get my shit done and get out of there. And so when you think about it like that, like, nobody has more discipline than anybody else. It's just that you get to a place where the habits are instilled so that you can move forward each time that comes up. We all negotiate. And so when we're talking about this, though, you know, when you say just the man up and do it, it's easier said than done. So when you talk about the emotional eating, here's the thing. You want to know how you fix the emotional eating? You fix the emotional eating by working on this, right? Working on you. It's not the workout. It's not, oh shit, I need to choose something better at this time. It's fixing this, which is a lot of mindset. It's a lot of stress management. It's a lot of mindfulness. We have a whole structure that we teach inside of our curriculum. You know, and it can look different from everybody else. Right now in the Fatherhood private group, we've got 2 different threads. These are all mindfulness. This is all built into the app. So these guys log into the app for the day. They've got these reminders. They have their workouts there. All they got to do is click on the reminder. So we have 5 fatherhood habits that we instill in these guys that aren't necessarily related to the workout or the nutrition. Some of those things are a gratitude journal, right? Fill out a freaking gratitude journal. We have a link right there. All you do is click on that link, and you should see our gratitude journal thread. I think it's closing in on 2,000 comments because these guys are fully bought in. Most men listening right now don't realize how impactful that can be in your life, okay? We also have a thread that's built for our wins. Most guys don't take credit for their small victories. You've got to take credit for your wins or you're going to self-sabotage. I did it. I self-sabotage because we want those immediate results. We want the immediate gratification. You didn't lose a pound this week. Well, guess what, dude? You made smart choices for the most part. You drank the water that you needed to. You got your exercise in. You did some resistance training. So you know why you didn't lose weight? Because you probably gained a little muscle mass and you also lost a little bit of fat. And that's okay. It'll all equal out in the end when you continue to move forward and build momentum. And so when you're talking about emotional eating, all that is not working on the other parts, right? The mindfulness, your stress management. If you manage your stress and you incorporate, when I say stress management, let me just tell you like what my morning routine looks like. So I'm a gratitude journal guy. First thing, I don't look at my phone at all. I do a short meditation in the morning with some deep breathing. Usually I'll try to do when I'm really involved. Right now, my 1-year-old has not been sleeping consistently. So I'll try to get some reading, some personal development reading in the morning before I ever log on to any social media, because I know I'm going to be triggered, right? If you just block like 15, 20 minutes of your day and avoid the damn email, avoid Twitter, avoid Facebook, avoid all the outlets where you know something negative is going to be slipped into your mind, whether you want it or not. This is part of programming your subconscious mind. You can look at that shit later, but when you start to be intentional about your day and you start to say, you know what, I'm the one in control of my day, you're telling your brain, hey, dude, like I'll look at that nonsense later, but this is my time for me. You start to practice this mindfulness. It starts to open your world up to, okay, wait a minute. I am the one in control. Starts to bring down your stress because this is a daily practice. You can't go to the gym twice a month and think that you're going to get great results. You also can't do a gratitude journal or some meditation twice a month and think that this is going to change your life. But when you start to do it on a consistent basis, our brain is the most powerful thing that we have, right? And so you want your subconscious to serve you and work for you instead of against you. we all get in this negative continuous loop and wonder why things can't change for ourselves, when in reality, we're in charge of our computer right here, but you have to be proactive about it. You can't be reactive to your day. And so a big part of that is just starting to put those things in play, so that you can start to realize, okay, shit, like I am in control of this, right? So it's a simple practice, but it's easy to do. It's also easy not to do.
I have a question about your workouts. So I've been kind of like what you're saying. I'm like, okay, I'm going to work out tonight.
Yep.
And then something crazy happens with the kids or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, now it's super late and I got to get up early or whatever the case may be. So,
Sure.
instead of just doing it, and you'd feel better the next day anyway, or whatever.
Yep.
But anyway, to go back to your workouts, you mentioned you work out Monday through Thursday. Is there any rhyme or reason why you don't do like a Saturday, Monday, take off a day, Tuesday? Was that just?
Yeah. I'm lazy, dude. I have some built-in laziness. I'm very much a family man. I am not going to take time away because I work from home, dude. Like, the reality is my wife is a pharmacist and she works in the hospital right now. We're trying to change that. And my kid, I have one that's in first grade and one that's in daycare. So I'm here alone all day. My time to work on me is during the week. On the weekends, Saturdays I have my son's karate in the morning. Sometimes he has basketball in the afternoon, like tomorrow. That's my time with the baby. That's my time with my son. That's my time with my wife. My wife is gone all week. And so Monday through Thursday, Fridays are blocked, like I said, for work time. The weekends are my time, dude. And look, I'm not gonna lie. Friday night, we always have, like tonight we're having pizza. I'm gonna have pizza and some beer. Tomorrow, probably gonna have a burger, some fries, another couple beers, and an ice cream to follow it. My weekends, I would basically compare those to a shit show, dude. Like, my weekends are not healthy in the evening meal. But the reason that our system works so well is that part of the coffee and that piece and the intermittent fasting is that I'm able to control my calories on a Friday or a Saturday. And some of this is intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is not really a thing because half of our country is obese. But when you start to control and you start to put these boundaries around your eating, like I'll give you an example for today, right? So I have my coffee. It's 11 o'clock. My first meal of the day doesn't usually happen until about 2 or 2:30. And then my last meal of the day is about 7 or 7:30. So it's a 5-hour window and I eat 4 times during those 5 hours. Most people are like, holy shit, how do you do that? Your body will get used to anything that you do, right? Like the body is an amazing thing. And it's so powerful at adapting to things. And so my body has adapted and this is how I eat. And so I carry that same process going into the weekend, but on Fridays, today, I will not have my first meal until probably closer to 3 or 3:30. When I have that first meal, that's it until dinner time. So that when I go in and I have my pizza, I'm going to overeat, dude. Like, my wife's going to eat 2 pieces. I'm going to finish the rest of the pizza. Going to have some beer, probably going to have something after that as well. But now, because I've only had one meal and then that dinner, instead of sitting at 4,000 calories for the day, if I had a normal scheduled eating plan, and then, feeling guilty and then feeling like crap the next day, now I've minimized my calories for the day, and then I just repeat that again on Saturday. And so that's where my fun/cheat meals come in. Sundays are pretty healthy for us. We start to prepare for the week. We usually have a healthy dinner on Sunday nights. Could be a steak and baked potato. Could be tacos or something like that. But it's usually fairly healthy. It's all home cooked. And then repeat the process every single week. And so it just works. It's a system that I've been following again for 15 years, dude. And I'm going to teach my wife is not fully on board with it. She's a hungry bear in the morning and she can't wrap her head around it, which is ridiculous. Cause I used to be a hungry bear too. We had a guy that came into the program. He's like, hey dude, I'm not going to be able to work out fast. And I was like, oh yes, you will. Just try it. 3 days in, he's like, dude, I've never felt this energetic for my workouts. I was like, I told you so, man. You just got to buy in. Right. And so my mother-in-law is doing this. I will teach both of my sons once they're, in their teens and ready to start to build some consistency in their life. Teach them the same thing. It's simple. It's effective. It's a day-to-day thing. So like if I go on vacation or I go out of town, my nutrition is just like, it's thrown out the window. I'm going to eat breakfast. I'm going to eat lunch. I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to do normal people stuff. But when I'm at home and I'm dialed in, It's a very strategic system, and it just works, dude. Like I'm about to be 42 and I'm in the best shape of my life. And that's not going to change anytime soon. And so when I'm 50, I'll probably be able to say the same thing because I just continue to repeat the system.
So you work out on an empty stomach and don't eat until like 2? Oh man.
Yep. You can't wrap your head around it right now, but the front end of the day is why it's so powerful. Yeah. Dude, I don't like, my body knows when it's time to eat. It's insane. Like, well, I can eat like a 700 calorie meal, which is my first meal of the day. And then like literally an hour and some change later, like I'm hungry for my next, we'll call it a fueling. I get 4 meals in under 5 hours every single day during the week, minus Friday. And again, I tailor back a Friday. Notice I don't work out on Friday and I don't eat nearly the amount of calories. Right? I don't need that fuel that I would need on a Monday through Thursday. And so it's all about the intuitive eating thing. Again, it's all about getting in tune with what your body needs. We teach our men to fuel their body for performance. We want you to perform at your highest level every single day. That means your energy levels have to be through the roof. And that means you have to have a sustainable system that you already know, you have an idea of what you're going to eat, the types of foods you're going to eat, and how that's going to work and look in your day. You got to plan ahead a little bit. This is not a meal prep thing, but having those things available and ready to grab when you need it just makes it very convenient, man. Like a lot of our guys live on the road, dude. And so that's why it's so effective for them too, is like they're driving all day. You don't have time to do a long drawn out meal. So we teach fuelings instead of, an actual meal. Cause when you think of a meal, one of my meals every day is a handful of pecans, a handful of pistachios, and a handful of blueberries, right? That does not seem like a meal to most people. That's like 500 or 600 calories, dude. Nuts are high in calories. So for me, gets the job done and I move right on to the next fueling. And so not all, like that's the only one that looks like less than a meal, but that is a meal. Some people would say that's just a snack. Dude, it's 600 calories, man. Like how much do you need? And so it's just highly effective, man. Our nutrition strategy, it's fun. And the guys love it because they get to do this stuff on the weekends. They get to have the burger, the pizza, the tacos, and not have to worry about, well, shit, I'm going to gain 5 pounds if I eat this burger. Right. And so it's just, it's fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually had a question about, I call it snack, something in between meals or whatever. Cause I'm not on that. I have done fasting, the intermittent fasting before. And actually, once my body got used to it, I kind of liked it. I'd have my coffee in the morning. I think I ate a little bit earlier, maybe closer to 12 or 1.
Sure.
But my body didn't.
We encourage an 8-hour window to start, dude. Like if you come in and I'm not going to tell you, hey, dude, follow Jason's plan because that's insane. It's taken me a long time to get to this point where I could eat 4 times in 5 hours, like 4 actual meals. Most guys, like that's not going to work. Right. So like just try for 8 hours first and then we'll build from there. And a lot of them will start to narrow it down. But yeah.
So I do keep some stuff, like some different nuts.
Sure.
I've got all kinds of different mixed nuts and stuff that I keep up here at the office because if I let myself go too long, my wife calls it, I get hangry.
Yep.
And so if I don't have some snacks or something like that, then I'll go overboard regardless of what happens. If I get myself to that point, and mostly that's due to I'm out of shape right now. I know once you get disciplined, you kind of can get around some of that stuff, but if I don't have something like that, it's way better than grabbing, some fast food or something.
No, those are great snacks, dude. And I actually have that we just finished up a bag of that not long ago. But what I'll tell you there is the hangry thing is just coming from your glucose level dropping, your blood sugar dropping. And then it's like, well, shit, I need food right now or I'm going to kill somebody, right? That's the feeling you get. Well, when you follow our structure, that goes away because your body then becomes very much regulated. Now instead of you being reactive to what your body's doing, you're being proactive and you're the one that's in control of that. I'm not telling you that I don't get hungry, right? But the hunger hormone, it's called ghrelin. We have a little funny joke. It's like in the beginning, when you're getting used to this, you got to fight the ghrelin, right? It's that's going to happen.
I thought
it goes away after a couple minutes and we move on. But it's an adjustment period. It literally takes like 1 or 2 days to get used to it. Like I said, our guy was in there heavy lifting. This is a guy who already had weightlifting experience. He's in there heavy lifting on day 3 with no fuel in his stomach. And he's like, dude, my energy levels have never been this high working out. I'm like, dude, that's the power of this because now you're in control. And that's why you're able to get, you're able to lose the weight, lose the fat and have the lean physique that you are. So instead of being reactive, you're the one being proactive about your nutritional approach, telling your body, hey, I'm not going to listen to your shit. I'm going to be the one that controls it. And then that goes away. Like I don't have any of that in the morning, but part of our stuff with the coffee and stuff on the front end is we have a couple little nuances that we do that just makes it kind of hacks the brain, right? It's like, okay, well, I feel like I ate a meal, so I'm going to wait until 2 to eat my next one. And so it's just your body will adapt to anything that you throw its way.
Yeah. So I know, I mean, people like myself and a lot of other people that are listening or watching this have started diets. I don't know how many times, or try to get something started. It seems like getting something started is the easy part. Like, what's that shift that needs to take place where it does become more of a lifestyle?
Knowing that this is your life and you only have one shot at it, dude. Like you have to step back and say, here's this thing is food is for fuel, not for drool, right? We live in a society where we celebrate everything, dude. Like, yeah, how many birthday parties have you been to that they're serving pizza and cake? Like that's the classic birthday party shit, right? Pizza and cake. We live in this society where every single opportunity we get, a funeral, a wedding, a holiday, a day before a holiday, it's all related around food. And so when you think food is for fuel, not for drool, and that's, you need to eat for need, not for greed. When you start to think about that, it's like, okay, I want to fuel my body for performance. I'm going to give it what it needs most of the time. It's the I can't have it now, but I can have it later mentality. Your food does not have to taste like cardboard. Some of my favorite meals that I have are some of the most healthy meals that I have because of the way they make me feel, because of the way that I'm able to perform the next day. Here's the reality. If you're going to tell me, hey, would you choose a salmon, sweet potato, and asparagus over a burger, your favorite burger, some blackened fries, couple IPAs, and maybe followed by some ice cream afterwards? Which one are you going to choose? Well, I'm going to choose the burger all day long, depending on the day. If it's a Tuesday or a Monday, and I know that the next day I'm going to the gym, I know that I got to run a business, I know that I got clients to serve at a high level, I know that I got a lot of stuff to do, well, I'm going to choose the salmon, sweet potato, and asparagus because I know that I'm going to perform at my best. So when you start to wrap your head around that and know that, okay, I can't have it now, but I can have it later. It's okay to enjoy your favorite foods, dude. Like food is one of the many joys of life. You just can't eat a burger every single day. And so when you start to step back and think about it like that, a diet is not, diet has an expiration date. It's not a diet. Like it's your lifestyle. So many people are looking for, well, what diet should I follow? Well, every single one of them will work if you do the work. Yeah. And that's just it. It's like we again, the immediate gratification. I want this diet to get rid of my 50 pounds that took me a year to gain, and I want it gone by next week. That's it. Like, how many people want that, right? I want this keto diet so that I can lose 50 pounds in 2 months. And it took me 4 years to gain this, right? And that's it, is that you got to get away from that and realize that Amazon lifestyle, Alexa lifestyle, fast food corner on every intersection lifestyle, it's got to go away, man. You got to step back and say, all right, you know what? I know my why, and my why is I want to be here as long as I possibly can for my kids, or my why is I want to perform so high, at such a high level that I can scale my business. I know that right now, let's go with the plumbing and HVAC, right? I know that that's a hard industry. So if you're the business owner, it's a hard industry to be in. That's not easy work, but it's very rewarding work because the financial payout is great. I know some HVAC and plumber guys that do really, really well. But if you're always fat and low energy and low libido, and you don't have much quality of life around that, well, then how long can you sustain your current lifestyle and be able to scale your business? You don't want to be an empire. You don't want to build an empire only to 10 years later be 6 feet under, and now you're turning it over to somebody else to run or selling it off for your family because your health is in such piss poor shape because you didn't make yourself a priority on the front end. Again, it doesn't need to be a drastic overhaul, but you got to start putting some steps in place now that are going to get you to where you want to be. I will tell you, the most successful people that we see come in are like, you know what? I'm going to implement the full system, and I know that it's going to take me a while to get there, but I'm going to start instilling habits today that I'm going to start acting like the guy that I want to become, right? You got to start living in a different, your reality has to change. You got to start living like the guy that you want to become, right? And so if you got a guy like this guy that came in that was 200 pounds overweight, he was 389 when he started with us. and now he's under 200, like 190 or something.
Yeah.
So when he came in, he's like, you know what? I'm in the worst shape of my life. I feel like crap all the time, but I'm going to start acting today like the guy that I want to become, a year from now or whatever. And look where he's at. He's living, his life is on fire now, right? And so he's living his best life. He's a huge baseball fan. Couldn't even walk the stadium stairs. He lives in Michigan. He's a Tigers fan. And so he goes to a ton of games, couldn't even walk the stairs. Now he's running all around the ballpark, taking his dog to the ballpark when they bring the dog to the park day, and like living his best life, all because he started acting like the guy that he wanted to become. It's like, you've got to instill those habits and just say, you know what, I'm going to suck it up. It's embrace the suck factor, dude, because it's always going to suck. Yeah. I'm like I told you earlier, dude, I don't love going to the gym every time. I don't love eating every healthy meal that I do. Most of our healthy meals, they taste good because I'm the cook and I do a lot of good shit. But again, I wouldn't choose the salmon, asparagus, and sweet potato over a burger, fries, and beer unless it's in the middle of the week and I know I got to perform at a high level. And so it's about priorities, dude. We create non-negotiable priorities in our lives. It's results or excuses. You either put priorities in place to move forward and get the results, or you're going to continue to make excuses and spin your wheels. And that's really what it comes down to.
So kind of what you were saying, like the way our society works now, it's like there's crap to eat at every occasion or every turn. Like this part of the year is one of the hardest times of the year. We just got past Halloween. So we've got 6 bags of candy at our house just from all the crap the kids got going door to door. But then we're rolling right into, we've got, I don't know, we've already gone like through 3-4 birthdays. We got another birthday party tonight. We're coming right up to Thanksgiving, all the Christmas stuff coming up. There's going to be several parties and whatnot. Then you got Christmas, New Year's. So how do you, like, if it falls on a day that is not your cheat day or whatever, do you partake in any of that? Or do you just say, I'm not having any of that crap?
No, dude, I live my life, man. Like, here's the thing. Those are exceptions. And let me back up on the holidays. Okay. They're the holidays, right? There's 5 of them. You have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas Eve, you have Christmas, you have New Year's Eve, and you have New Year's. It's five days. Okay. I eat like shit all 5 of those days. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. Like I have a sugar addiction that I'm able to control because of the structure of my life. That's those barriers that when I talked about the heroin needle in the beginning, right? I will not allow myself to eat any sugar starting Sunday night, all the way until Friday afternoon. That's 5 days, no sugar. Now, I'm not going to binge out all day on Friday night or on Saturday night. It's not going to all day thing, but I'll go hard to the paint on some stuff, dude. I can crush some sugar, just like anybody can. It's very addictive. And so the reality is this: it's 5 days. You start thinking about a hull a month or a hull a quarter and let it all blend together. Well, you're going to come out on after New Year's wondering what the hell happened. You gained 10, 12, 15 pounds because you just said, you know what? It's the holidays. We'll just do it anyway. And so you got to wrap your head around that first 5 days. That's it. Okay. If you can establish the discipline to go into it like that. However, when you have holiday events, you have parties, you have things that you're going to attend. My lifestyle is so structured the rest of the time that if it's a normal day, like say next week we had I'm just going to throw out an example. Say my wife's Christmas party or something was on a Wednesday night. Okay. And then my normal Friday night would come with the pizza or the burger. And then my normal Saturday night would come with my normal scheduled cheat meal. I do 2 cheat meals a week. Wednesday night, if we go and they're serving, like, say they have a big ass tray of Chick-fil-A nuggets and they got, whatever it looks like. I'm still going to eat that. I'm still going to do anything that I want on that Wednesday night because it's an exception. It's not the rule. My rule is that most of the year, my stuff is so structured and so consistent that I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to live my life because the other percentage of the time I'm so dialed in. And so when you can get your priorities set like that, those little one-off events, they don't mean anything. That doesn't mean go into the holidays and think, well, you know what, I've done so great this year that I'm going to spend the next month and a half just doing whatever the hell I want, because you're going to move backwards. You're going to self-sabotage. And it's most likely that after the holidays are over, you're going to have a really tough time getting started again. It's the most of the time thing. Again, I can't have it now, but I can have it later mentality. it just works, man. Like you've got to wrap your head around that. And when you do, it's powerful.
Yeah. Well, man, we've gone over a lot of stuff. You put out some really good nuggets that I know it's helped me a ton. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people that have been listening or watching this right now. So for the people that are listening or watching this right now, how can they learn more about the fatherhood? What's the best place for them to start?
Yeah, man. We have a website. You can go to thefatherhoodexperience.com. There's no opt-in. There's none of that. It's just go learn more about us. This is not a lead magnet. Go check us out. Go look at some of the videos, some of the stuff from our retreat. So that's thefatherhoodexperience.com. If you're interested in talking to our team and learning more about it, there is an application on there that you can fill out, a little form. If you want to connect on social, on Instagram, I've recently changed from Dad Bod Health. So my personal handle is @JasonAPriest. But then we also have a fatherhood experience as well. So @the Fatherhood Experience. Those will be the two best places to learn a little bit more. We're in the middle of rebranding our podcast, and so I won't even. It's the Dad Bod Pod right now, but we're about to change that name as well. But that's probably the best starting places. Just to learn a little bit more about us. We also have a free Facebook group where we do live streams every week. Zach and I, all value. We don't sell. I shouldn't say we don't sell. We give a little call to action at the end. Hey, if you want to work with us, drop a comment, drop this in the comments and we'll reach out. It's a very soft sell because we're really there to add value to the guys. And that's Discussions with Dads. You can go over to discussionswithdadsgroup.com to opt into that as well if you want to, if you're a Facebook guy. But those are probably the three best places to get more content from us.
Awesome. Well, is there anything you want to add before we wrap?
No, man, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully your listeners get some value. And yeah, dude, it was fun.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Well, we'll see
you
you
got
next
it, man.
time.
Hey, thanks, man.
Take care.